Hi everybody, welcome to episode 3 of our Business Tips, Truly Inspirational People. I am super excited about today's interviewee, who I will introduce in a minute. First of all, I just wanted to have a bit of a chat with you. So, as a career as a holistic practitioner, now I see it as a vocation. I think many of you will see it as a vocation, and it's something that finds us as opposed to us going out into the world looking for our purpose, as it were. And wouldn't you agree? What do you think about that? It gives us great purpose and joy as we pursue our passion, but how about fulfilling our dreams? Do some of you struggle to realize your full potential? And if so, can this prevent you from actually supporting a wider client base and also manifesting the life of your dreams, your personal dreams? Now, there are simple techniques that you can learn depending on your goals to bring in practical changes in your behavior and the way that you look at things. I went on this journey myself as I developed Tri-Dosha over a 13-year period. I spent a few years where I invested in self-development trainings. I learned lots of new techniques that I was able to bring into my life that have really helped unblocked certain stages of my career, you can say, and I found them really beneficial. And learning these amazing tools has personally helped me unlock what I see my own inner potential. And I feel in many ways, I probably wouldn't have developed Tri-Dosha to the place that I have developed the company had I not invested in some of these trainings. So our next guest knows all about this. He is an ex-chief superintendent and he's built himself up an entirely new career as a coach and motivational speaker. Formerly one of the UK's most senior Asian police officers, our guest retired from the force 3 years ago after 32 years of service. And now his number one mission in life is to spread the word far and wide about positivity and self-development. Please welcome Mahay. Welcome, Kay. Hi.
Thank you so much, Sunita. What an introduction.
Thank you. My pleasure. Now, Cole, tell us about you.
Well, as you said, from the age of 16, I've been in the police service. It was my dream. It was my passion. It was my purpose from the age of 10. That's all I dreamt about. And I have thoroughly enjoyed my time in the police service. But being a police officer, and as you go up through the ranks, you deal with more and more serious issues. I have investigated homicides. I have seen more death than I care to count. I've seen people going through pain. And as I started getting towards the end of my 30-odd year journey with the police service, I just thought to myself, there must be something more out there.
Yeah.
I must be able to serve the public in a better way. Can I possibly change the way people think so that perhaps we don't have half of the tragedies that I've experienced in my life? So that was when it was born of an idea that, I see people who've gone through the toughest parts of their lives, toughest periods of their lives, but then gone on to do incredible things. They've not put on a t-shirt that defines them by their past experiences. They do something quite amazing. And so I thought, well, what is so special about these few people that I've seen that go on and do something incredible? And I realized that we've all got this latent power within us. We've all got this incredible power within us, but most of us are not utilizing it. So then, the mission was born in my head that I need to go out there and get people to understand this inner potential that we have and then teach them how to ignite it. I've ignited it within myself. I have a day, every single day, my life is full of magic. I get, more and more beautiful things happening in my life, all because I practice the right kind of mindset.
Yeah, okay, it is amazing. It's an amazing story. And actually this reminds me that I did interview you two months ago when I was presenting a show on the BBC, and I got to hear some of your story and actually the power of your story and what has brought you into this space today. And you did share a very powerful experience with us. So what was the moment that you decided to actually change and become a self-development coach?
There have been many moments, I very often struggle when I'm asked to define that one moment. There have been so many moments. One of the moments was when I was lying in hospital back in 1990. I'd been told that, I was 50-50 in terms of my life expectancy, and that I'd got tuberculosis of the lung. Half my left lung had been eaten away. And I was stuck in this solitary room for 4 months recuperating. I dropped down to 9 stone in weight. And I suddenly started thinking, am I doing the most that I can with my life? Am I making the biggest impact in the world? Another key moment in my life was when I went to a fatal road traffic accident. And it was a head-on collision with 2 cars. And in the back of one of these cars, it was the old-fashioned Mini. And in the back of this car was in flames. And I could just see hanging out of the back window a body, the torso of body that was on fire, and it was flailing around. And the fire service put this fire out. And he collapsed in my arms. And I could see that his flesh had been charred. And eventually we got him out of the car. And I remember him looking directly into my eyes. And I was shouting at him to breathe. And we put the oxygen mask on him. And he looked into my eyes and took 2 breaths, and he died. That was a 16-year-old boy. And it made me realize that, life is so very short. We have no idea when life is going to be taken away from us. And it's not birth or death that defines us. It's what we do in between. Are we maximizing every single day? Are we living a life to its fullest potential? Do we leave a positive footprint in the world behind us? What is the legacy that we leave? Are people going to talk about your wealth when you leave? Are people going to talk about, the clothes that you wear? Are people going to talk about the car that you drive? They're probably not. They're probably going to talk about how you made them feel. And that comes from a deeper place for me.
Yeah. As I listen to you, I get a sense that there's so many different layers to the type of training that you facilitate, and the journey that you take your audience on. And so why would I want self-improvement? What are some of the specific things, the tangible things that you could share with me?
Well, here's the thing, we all need self-improvement. Somebody called me, I was having a meeting earlier on today, and somebody says, you're an expert. I said, am I? Yeah, you're an expert in leadership, because that's what I do. That's my corporate training that I deliver. I deliver all kinds of leadership training, where I get organizations to think in a different way, and I get leaders to be much more people focused. But I don't like the word expert, because expert suggests to me that I can't grow any further. Expert means that I've mastered everything. And I'm saying, no, I'm not. I'm a constant seeker for the truth. And in order for me to constantly grow, continuously grow, I need to be constantly learning, constantly improving. So every single one of us has to be moving forward in our lives. If we're not moving forward, we're standing still. If we're standing still, that means we're dying rather than living. So in order for us to have fulfilled lives that we're living, we need to be moving forward. So what I do, I within my event, Ignite Your Inner Potential, which is what I created for the public. I created this event so that it would touch communities, create a ripple effect in the world, so that people would be thinking in a different way. They would touch their families in a different way, or their friends, and it would go on to spread across the world. And it is doing already. It's reshaped so many lives already. But what I teach first and foremost is, let's get rid of the baggage that we're holding right now. Much of our thinking that we have right now is as a result of the conditioning that we've had in the past, or some experiences that we've had in the past. Too many people believe I'm not good enough. Too many people believe I can't do this. Too many people believe my infrastructure is not where it needs to be in order for me to move on, or I don't have the money to do what I need to do, or my health isn't where it is. Well, I'm here to say, you don't have to think about that anymore. You don't have to be defined by that anymore. There's a whole new way of thinking. I can change the way that you think, so you have a different dialogue inside your head that is much more empowering. So we try to help people to eliminate some of this disempowering language that they have inside their head. We also help them to create realistic goals. There's a reason why I have my event in January. It's because I don't believe in these shallow New Year's resolutions that we make to ourselves. We have that euphoric moment on New Year's Eve. We've all been there, and we say, yeah, I'm going to lose weight. Yeah, I'm going to be this. And you know what? 2 weeks later, we're doing nothing. That's because we haven't really thought through that goal that we've told ourselves, that false promise that we make ourselves. So in January, rather than make New Year's resolutions, I say to people, no, come to Ignite Your Potential. Let me get your mind in the right place first, and then let me help you to set real goals that are going to power you forward. And you know what? I've had miraculous stories from people who said, because I came to Ignite Your Potential, I am here where I am right now. Thank you so much.
No,
Only today, I went to visit somebody who's been asking me to visit them for a while. And this is a young lady. She's 30 years old. She has just set up her own takeaway business, food takeaway business in the middle of Derby city centre. 2 years ago, this young lady was suffering with anxiety. Her level of self-belief and self-love was at an all-time low. She was in a job that she was struggling in because it was like taking so much of her time and her energy. And she would not have believed that she would have the right relationship come along, that she would have the right opportunity come along. And one of the things I say to people, procrastination is the killer of all creativity. And one of the things I teach in Igniting a Potential is how not to procrastinate. My strap line is, do it now. And I get everyone to shout it as many times as possible throughout the day. And I went to see her today, and she set up this very successful, it's only 6 weeks in the happening, but a very successful business. And she showed me all the stuff that she's doing, the vegan dishes, the homemade sauces. She's the happiest that I've ever seen her. She's lost weight. She looks incredible. And she said today, she said, this all happened because I came to Ignite Your Potential.
Oh, it's amazing. I want to taste some of her food.
We've just tasted it because she actually makes her own mayonnaise sauces as well. Now, I don't normally have mayonnaise because it's got eggs in, and I don't have meat, fish, or eggs. But this is vegan mayonnaise. Oh my goodness, it's so tasty.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, look, now, as holistic practitioners, we're sharing our gifts with the world. We're helping our clients. We're healing our clients. However, maybe there are other elements in our life where we're a bit stuck. And over the years of teaching therapists and practitioners, one of the areas that we could, I think, certainly have more support and help around is unlocking our potential when it comes to actually growing our businesses. So what could life look like if we were able to face that fear, face that thing that was holding us back? What's on the other side for us?
Well, here's the thing. Many of the practitioners that are working within your industry right now, I know this because I've worked with so many other similar types of businesses. I've coached people from within those businesses. Many of them are feeling very lonely. Many of them are probably at home trying to drive their business from home. Many of them are thinking and looking at other people and thinking, how are they doing what they're doing? I can't do that. Or I'm not as good as that person. Or nobody's going to want to listen to me. Who's going to want to entertain this proposal that I've got? So as a result of that, this lack of confidence actually pulls them back. It doesn't stop them. It actually pulls them back. They make less and less phone calls. They approach less and less people. They network less and less. And they then get to a point where they think, well, do you know what? Nothing is happening in my business. What they don't realize is nothing is happening in their business because they're not making things happen. They're not doing things. And the vast majority of that is down to how they are thinking. The relationship that they've got with themselves is really playing into the relationship that they're having with other people. So when you get the relationship, this is basic emotional intelligence. I teach emotional intelligence, and I say the first step to having success in your life is really to become much more self-aware. Understand who you are, what you are doing, your strengths and your weaknesses. The next step of that is self-management. Identifying those things that are disempowering for you, work hard to try and improve upon that. And then look at your strengths and work on your strengths. That is when you have better relationship management, better relationship awareness, better social awareness. And that's when your relationships can work better and you start getting better relationships with other people, and your performance will improve. So what's on the other side of that? For every single person watching this right now, my message to you is this. On the other side of fear is success. On the other side of fear is growth. On the other side of fear, you could be having a business that is actually being approached by other people. Seeing yourself holding stands in organizations, maybe working with corporate clients, maybe working with group clients, maybe working on a one-to-one basis. You could be busy 5 days a week doing your business, driving your business, and actually getting a profit as a return. That is what's on the other side of fear. And the only thing that's holding us back is this glass wall that we call fear. That is all it is. There is no physical wall. It is a mental block that we're having. And that mental block is nothing but something that's inside your head. It'll be a few sentences that are holding you back right now.
Isn't that? It's very, I mean, that sends shivers down my spine just listening. You know, the power of, it's the power of intention and the power of being able to move forward from that place that that you may be stuck in or blocked in. Now, generally speaking, holistic practitioners, we're aligned to our purpose. You know, one of the things I hear in self-development is, come down the self-development path, we'll help you find your purpose. Actually, we're already there. We're in that space. We know why we're here. We know why you know, our mission, our purpose in life. And so it's really aligning that with being able to have more success in life. But one of the things that you'll often find is that that there is almost a guilt attached if we put ourselves out too much or we're seen in a certain way. What is your opinion on that? What do you think about that?
Okay, so I welcome the fact, you know, I think it's brilliant that holistic practitioners do come from a healthier place in terms of they know why they're doing what they're doing. I hear so many times, and I've said it myself in the past, where I say, understand your why, know your why, your purpose is fundamental. Understand your what, understand what it is that you want to achieve. Where do you want to be in 1 year's time, 5 years' time, 3 years' time? Understand what that looks like in absolute clarity, and don't worry about the how.
I like
actually
that.
Take a step back from that and say, actually, the how is important.
Yeah.
The how is important because it's the how that stops people from moving forward. Because people will say, and a lot of the practitioners out there will be saying, yeah, do you know what? My what? I know my why, but my what?
Right. Yeah, but what's my what? Yeah.
Yeah. And they may even have clarity around that. They may even see themselves and envision themselves and visualize themselves, you know, selling products to clients or building teams or going into a corporate environment and doing some training. They may see all of that, but then they get stuck. So what do I do? What's my next step? What first few steps can I take? And for me, until you've got that clarity around you and your strengths and understanding what makes you tick, what's made you the person that you are right now, until you've got through that process, it's going to get very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to understand the first couple of steps that you need to take. Now, I work on a one-to-one with many, many clients where I've helped them create their annual action plan, you know, month by month action plan to get to their 1 year goal. I do that. But even in Ignite Your Inner Potential, I help you to start crystallizing your first few steps just simply by clarifying your thinking. Yeah. But when you've got a muddled mind, when you've got thoughts rushing around left, right, and center, it's very hard for you to start thinking in a laser sharp focused way. Yeah. And that's where we need to be. We need to become much more laser sharp. And you know what? Here's the thing. When you're building a business that's going to help other people, it's okay to be selfish. You have to put yourself first. There's a reason why on an airplane they say, put your own gas mask on before you put anybody else's gas mask on. You know, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So being selfish, looking after yourself is so important.
Our listeners, I'm sure our listeners will be very happy to hear that. That's brilliant. And so just a couple more questions. Can you give us one of your power techniques that you would share in an event?
Okay, so I couldn't do anything right now here, but I'll talk through some of the things that we end up doing. One of my big things is habits, right? So 14 years ago, I gave up eating meat, fish, eggs overnight. I also, on the same day, gave up smoking overnight. I also gave up drinking overnight. And I used to be a whiskey connoisseur. I used to be drinking every single day. I was a hard-nosed cop. I was a senior detective. You know, and senior detectives drink, right? 4 years ago, gave up coffee and tea overnight. and replaced it with green tea. 3 years ago, I gave up milk overnight. 3 years ago, I also gave up orange juices and fruit juices and fizzy drinks overnight. Now, a lot of people say, how on earth did you manage to do that? It's because I understand now that every physical habit that I have is only a result of a mind habit that I had. Once I get over the mind habit, all other physical habits that I think I am now attached to, I'm no longer attached. And it's the same with everything else. If you've got a habitual behavior that you've got right now, I can break that habitual behavior purely by you understanding what your mind habit is that lies behind that. And there's a really powerful session that we do in Ignite Your Inner Potential. Now, this time we've got 400 people coming to Ignite. But during the afternoon, when we've gone through a series of breakthroughs in our minds, they're very stepped breakthroughs. Towards the end of it all, I do like a guided meditation for everybody in the room. It's like a hypnosis guided meditation. And through that process, we actually get you to explore what your mind habits are right now and what your life would look like in 5, 10, 15, 20 years time if you continue to have those mind habits. And then we ask you, in your own mind's eye, would you be happy with those mind habits? Would you be happy with the outcome in your life if you continue there? And then I bring you back and say, okay, let's eliminate those habits and let's put some new habits in. What does your life look like in 5, 10, 15, 25 years time? It's a really powerful exercise. And so many people have acquired new habits or broken old habits as a result of that. So this is the level of power that we would have, the level of immersion that we would have in Ignite Your Inner Potential. There's a lot of fun.
It's amazing. I know, I can't wait. Well, look, Cole, tell us about your event. So it's happening on January the 12th next year.
Yeah, you know, I'm truly blessed because Ignite Your Inner Potential has been a mission for me since I left the police service. But I had to wait like a year and a half before I mustered up the courage because of the language that was going on inside my head. I had to muster up the courage to actually create my own event. I've spoken around the world at other people's events, but I didn't have the courage to do my own. And that's similar to what everybody else is going through, right? So one day I just decided it was going to happen. And I had my first event in January 2017, and we had 70 people in the room. I was blown away thinking, how can this happen? And then I decided that for the next event, I actually wanted to bring it to the East Midlands. And so my next event, which is January 18 this year, we had 200 people. And it was in the same football stadium that I used to sit in as a chief superintendent, police commander, policing football matches. And I'm so proud. And so I'm still pinching myself to think that in a couple of, about 6 weeks time, we're going to have that event with 400 people in. This event is now growing at 100% every single year. It's become the fastest growing personal development event in the UK. And I'm proud to say that on 12th of January, we'll have 400 people at the Riverside Centre in Derby, celebrating together, transforming their lives together, and moving on together, and creating an awesome, incredible 2019 for themselves.
I can't wait. I know the energy is just going to be so powerful in that room.
Honestly, it is so amazing. Even I get myself so excited at the event and I have to calm myself down.
Well, look, how do we get tickets?
Okay, so tickets are so easy to get. If you just go onto eventbrite.co.uk and search for Ignite Your Inner Potential, it's the first one that pops up. And the great thing is I make sure that ticket pricing is very low because I want, day-to-day people coming to it. I don't want to create any excuses in people's heads saying, oh, it's too expensive. Oh, it's too this. So I make it as cheap as possible. And guess what? We feed you on top of that. You get a lunch. You'll also get free unlimited tea and coffee throughout the day.
Yeah.
Tickets for a standard ticket are $39.97, but if you book in a group of 5, the tickets actually work out at £29. Okay. So it's crazy value, but that's what I'm all about. This is about a mission more than anything else for me. This is about creating that huge ripple effect around the country and hopefully around the world. The ultimate mission is to be financially free enough to be in a position where I can take Ignite Your Potential for free to underprivileged communities in Africa, Bangladesh, and all of these countries that suffer so much.
Well, I look forward to interviewing you. I know that's not going to be too far away, and I can't wait to interview you on that when you're flying into those countries and you're
I can't
seeing
wait.
humanity in that way. It's absolutely incredible. Cole, thank you very much. And
Thank you
your
so
website, just remind us of your website. So
my website is www.kulmahay.com. That's KULMAHAY.com.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.